Alderman, Bean, and Duke. Of course, Duke's already talking because he wants his cookie. Bean wants his cookie too. I'm trying to get where you love me and not for food. What's he gonna say, Duke? What's he gonna say? You gonna say mama? You gonna say mama? There you go. That was a good one. Now, Bean, I gotta have you up here for just a little bit longer. Guess what? Bean's name is spelled B-E-A-N using our rule. And guess what today is? It's Bean's birthday. Let's sing happy birthday to Bean. He's 2 today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bean. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bean. You're 2 years old. And this week has been perfect for you for Letterland. Unit 20, Day 5. Using the rule with EA in your name, with Mr. E saying his name, as Mr. A is looking for who? Robots. And then we also have Eddie Elephant here with the short S sound. And we have our tricky words. Before we go on to our story, we're going to review the list. And also, too, it's really Day 4 and Day 5. So I'll be doing the Letterland story with you after the list, and then I'll show you how to do the Letterland test. So we're going to kind of get 2 in today because tomorrow is the start of our Easter break. All right, let's go through here and let's sound out the words and read them. Here we go. Team. Great job. You're remembering that rule. Dream. Real, each, reach, meaning, eat, meet, read, eat. So when you're doing the Letterland test, or if you're writing these books, if you hear that E sound in there in these words of team, meaning, dream, meet, real, read, reach, and eat, they're going to be spelled with the E-A. With the vowel team walking with Mr. E this time of A, because he's looking for robots, as Mr. E says his name. Our next part of the chart has Eddie Elephant, and Eddie Elephant says F. Let's sound out the word. Left. Melting. What are those words with Eddie Elephant going F? Left and melting. Then remember we have our tricky words. This is like our book. It owns it. It has that R sound, but you've got to remember when it's owns something, it's going to be O-U-R. Then we have the word listen. Emily decided that she had a good trick for you with listen. We do know that's tricky because it has 2 syllables, because there's 2 consonants together in the middle of the word. So we have list, L-I-S, and then she said, remember the last part is 10, so you can spell it listen. Excellent. Now also too, when we do the Day 5 part with the test, you're going to have your sentences. Remember your sentence is a good way for you to review old tricky words, the new tricky words. It's a good way for you to review how to sound out with old vowel rules and how to sound out with the new ones. Let's read the first one together. I will eat with our team. This ends with a period, so it's telling us, I will eat with our team. Now the next sentence that we have is, we will listen while you read. It ends with a period, so remember it's telling us, we will listen while you read. Don't forget when your child's writing the sentences that they need to make sure they start the first word with an uppercase letter, and all the rest of the letters in the sentence are a lowercase letter with finger spaces in between. All right, you've been working on your list. And remember, I've given you a picture of it at the beginning. So your list looks like this. You either take the picture from the Facebook or the Class Dojo, and you'll write your own list on a piece of paper. When you write your own list, we're working on doing the review tricky words, so your child can remember what those words are. we're working on the new tricky words so that they can remember what they are and also how to spell them. We're working on the review words to make sure that they're still remembering those old vowel rules and knowing how to sound them out. And we're working on list A right here in order that we can not only know how to sound them out and read them, but can spell them with the rule. And then I skipped list B and list C unless your child's just doing really well and you wanted to add them. And I went right on to the sentences. Now today we're working on the unit story. With the unit story, it's practicing the rules of EA saying E with Mr. E saying his name as Mr. A is walking beside him looking for robots. It's also practicing the rules of Eddie Elephant and F. It's also doing our tricky words of R and listen, but it has 2 story words. I take that back. It's got 4 story words. My fault. The first story word that it has is practice, like you're going to practice making something. The next story word it has is soccer, like when you're playing the game of soccer with the soccer ball and kicking it and you can't touch it with your hands. The next one is goal, like when you're playing soccer, you've got a goal with a great big net at the end of the field that you're trying to kick it in to get a score. And then the last one is coach. This is the person that's going to help your team to win the soccer game. It's also going to help your team with practice. So just thinking about those story words that we have of practice, soccer, goal, and coach, what do you think the story is going to be about? You think it's going to be about a soccer game that they had to practice for, and hopefully they're going to make a goal, and they definitely have the coach that's going to help them along the way. Kind of thinking the same thing, how to use those words, but you just don't know. Now, this is not in your packet. What you're going to have to do is go ahead and write it out where your child can see it, or you can take a picture of it on your phone and print it off so that they can read it. It's your choice how you want to do it. I'm going to walk up closer to Emily so that we can read the story together. We can answer some questions, and so that you can see it closer up as we're doing it, like you would do with your child. All right, is this a good place, Emily? Okay, now let's look at the title. The title is The Soccer Team. Remember, the title is a good way to tell us what the main idea is about the story. So if we're going to infer, or what we think the story is going to be about, by the title we're going to think it's going to be about the soccer team. Now this one has a picture down at the bottom, and if you can see, it's a picture of a boy with doing the soccer game, and he's at the goal. So we can tell that this is going to be about a soccer game with somebody getting a goal. So that's another way that we've inferred what the story is going to be about. All right, we're going to start with the first section. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts. So let's start with part number 1. I am on a, when it's underlined, that's that story word, soccer team. We call our team the dream team. So you can tell it used a lot of words with that EA sound, making that E sound with the 2 vowel teams. But who's on a soccer team? I. And if we refer back down to the picture down here, we know it's probably this little boy in the picture. We also know that the name of his team is what? You're right, the dream team. Let's read the next one. We have a coach. Our next story word. To, I gotta sound this one out. To teach us. We, there's that tricky word, listen when he, I gotta sound this one out. That EA, speaks. Who teaches them? You're right, the coach. And who do they listen when he speaks? It's the coach. All right, here's the third part. We, another story word, practice all the time. Then we have a real game each week. When do they practice? They practice all the time. Why do they practice? Because they're going to have a real game. All right, here's the next part. In, there's your tricky word, are. Oh, I better sound that one out because I forgot what it is. Last. Last. Ooh, magic E's. Gonna make that A say. Game. In our last game, I had a good kick. When did he have a good kick? In the last game. Ooh, this one's going to end with a question mark. Let's read what it's going to ask us. Would it reach the goal? Well, let's find out in the next one if it's going to answer it. Here's one single word with an exclamation point. That means they're excited. And that word is yes, which answers our question. Would it reach the next goal? It was a win for our team. So it reached the goal, and what else was important about it? It was the winning goal for the team. The last part of the story, then we got to eat a treat. And what did they get to do at the end? Eat a treat. Now, what do you infer or think that treat could be? I bet some of you have played soccer before, and you might thinking that, of course, it's some kind of a drink, maybe a water or a Gatorade. And usually some coaches are good about giving you treats that are nutritious, like fruit or yogurt. I don't know. Or maybe because they won, they might have got some cupcakes. You infer what you think it could be. We've now finished the story of the soccer team. This is what you do for day 4. But we're having combined day 4 and day 5. Because we're combining that, we are going to be working on our test. With the test, go ahead and make a piece of paper, notebook paper. I folded mine. The reason why I fold it is for this side to be where they write the words. And this is the side where I have them write the sentences this way across. When you're doing your list to look out for the test, know that the part that you're going to be doing for the test are going to be the tricky words, and they're going to be list A. That's the only part of the words that you're going to do it. Now, if you wanted to add some extra, that you might want to do some old tricky words for review with your child, that's up to you. My main thing is that you want to test to be sure that they understand the tricky words and list A. Now, if I count these up, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've pre-numbered the paper to 12. This helps your child out because they're used to it being pre-numbered in the classroom. Call out each word. I usually start with tricky words. So if you did our, and then listen, that would be 1 and 2. Know when you come to list A, don't be surprised if your child is resounding out the words. That's fine. That means they're using their skills of how to write the word, because these words, again, are words they can sound out to not only read, but to spell. So it's okay. But I also let them know before they take the test as a reminder that when they are doing the words and they hear that long E sound, it's going to be Mr. E saying his name as Mr. A's looking for robot. And that E sound is that short E in Eddie Elephant. Because you don't want them to do, in list A, if they're writing eat, to do the old rule of EE, or to even just forget that he needs a vowel person to walk beside of him and just do the ET of et. If this does happen, go back with your child and say, remember, we're working on the E-A for E with the T sound at the end. Then once you've completed all the words on list A, turn it over onto the back, and this is where you're going to have your child to do the sentence. They can do it long ways across here, and they can write both sentences. You can do one or both. It's up to you. But when they do it, you're going to have to read the sentence several times to them. Don't think that you read it one time and that they're going to be able to write it. It's not going to happen. So you go, I will eat with our team. And you'll hear them go, I and will. And that's a good time to repeat the whole sentence again. I will eat with our team. Then they'll go back with the eat. I will eat. Try not to have to put the words on top of each other. Try to let them know that they need to have that finger space between each word when they write. And also let them know that the only uppercase letter they should see is that I, and the rest of the letters in the sentence are going to be lowercase. And tell them that we've been talking about how these sentences are telling sentences. And since they're telling us something, they're going to end with a period. So when you get finished, you've got your test completed. If you want to send a picture of it to me, that's fine. I've already had one student that's done that with last week. That's great. That gives me a chance to check and see that you've done it. You don't have to. It's just something that you can do, and usually I'll have a Class Dojo praise on the back to them because the kids seem to like that. All right, so remember that we have worked on the class story that you're going to get from the picture, either in Class Dojo or from the Facebook. If you need to take an additional picture of it so it's on your phone so they can read it as you go over it together, that's fine. After they've seen the video, because I can understand that. And then remember also too, you're going to be using the list to take your test. Because we had to combine 4 and 5 this time because it's on Friday, it's Good Friday, and we're considered to be off for Easter break. I hope you enjoyed Unit 20, Day 4 and 5 for this week in Letterland. And Bean, are you ready for us to sing one more time? All right, sing with me, guys. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bean. You're 2 years old. Happy birthday to you. Bean, tell them bye for us, or you're going to just keep looking at me like I'm a crazy cuckoo lady for singing to you. Yeah, he's got that crazy cuckoo lady look on him, but he knows I love him. Bye, y'all. Thank you for wishing Bean a happy birthday this time, too.